Saturday night in Washington, D.C. was supposed to be a celebration of the First Amendment, the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner, a night where the president and the press put aside their differences for a gala of jokes and diplomacy. But at 8:15 p.m., the laughter stopped. 5 shots rang out. Panic gripped the ballroom. This wasn't just a security breach, it was a direct assault on the heart of the American Republic. Tonight, we go behind the scenes of the evacuation of President Donald Trump, the hero who took a bullet, and the security flaws that almost led to a national tragedy. Inside the Washington Hilton, the atmosphere was electric. President Trump, First Lady Melania, and the full U.S. cabinet were in attendance. Suddenly, the silence of the lower level was shattered. According to Al Jazeera producer Chris Sheridan, the smell of gunpowder filled the air instantly. Outside the ballroom doors, just feet away from the world's most powerful leaders, a gunman had engaged a security checkpoint. Inside, the command was clear. Get down! Stay down! Attendees dived under tables, clutched their loved ones, and watched as heavily armed Secret Service agents formed a human shield around the president. In a matter of seconds, Trump was whisked away through a secure service tunnel, his detail prepared for a full-scale urban combat scenario. The suspect has been identified as 31-year-old Tomas Allen of Torrance, California. But who is he? Shortly after the incident, President Trump himself took to Truth Social, posting surveillance clips of the suspect. The footage is chilling. A man running past initial security, agents drawing weapons, and the final moments where he was neutralized. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro and FBI Director Kash Patel have confirmed that Allen was armed with multiple weapons. This wasn't a spontaneous act. It was a coordinated attempt to breach the inner sanctum of presidential security. The FBI is now digging into his background, searching for a motive, a manifesto, or any sign of a larger conspiracy. In every tragedy, there is a hero. A Secret Service officer whose name has not yet been released stood directly in Allen's path. He was shot at point-blank range. President Trump later confirmed that the officer's bulletproof vest saved his life, stating he is doing great. Think about that for a second. In a room filled with the elite of the media and political world, it was one officer's split-second decision to engage the shooter that prevented a massacre. Without that intervention, Tomas Allen might have made it through those ballroom doors. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. How did he get so close? Our analysis reveals a massive tactical vulnerability. The Washington Hilton is a public hotel. While the ballroom has airport-level security, the corridors leading to it are part of a labyrinthine basement. Sheridan pointed out that anyone with a ticket could descend to that level. Was the perimeter too small? Did the Secret Service underestimate the threat in a city like D.C.? Donald Trump was a ferocious critic of the media attending this event for the first time as president. The irony is haunting. The very event meant to celebrate freedom became a target for someone who sought to destroy it. This marks the second major attempt on Trump's life, following the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting. This is no longer a coincidence. It is a pattern of escalating political violence. The world is in shock. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum were among the first to speak out, calling the attack an assault on democracy itself. But look at Trump's response. Despite being rushed out, he wanted to stay. He told reporters, "I fought like hell to stay, but it was protocol." His message was one of defiance, but also a rare call for peace, asking Americans to recommit with their hearts to resolving differences without blood. As we look at the images of the suspect face down on the Hilton floor, we have to ask, what comes next? We are entering an era where unprecedented security, as Trump put it, is the only way forward. The days of open galas and public handshakes may be over. The Republic is under pressure, and as FBI Director Kash Patel said, no piece of information is too small. Will this unify the country or deepen the divide? That is the question we leave to you. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button. We will continue to follow the investigation into Tomas Allen and the security overhaul in D.C. Subscribe to the channel for more deep dive analyses. What do you think? Was this a security failure or a miracle of protection? Let us know in the comments. The diplomatic landscape has shifted dramatically within the last few hours as President Trump officially pivots from mediation to a strategy of total pressure. By grounding special envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, the White House is sending an unambiguous message to Tehran. The era of the U.S. chasing a deal is over. Trump's assertion that the U.S. holds all the cards marks a definitive end to the latest round of Pakistani-led mediation. This sudden withdrawal follows a series of meetings in Islamabad where Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi claimed to have presented a workable framework for peace. However, those efforts appear to have been dead on arrival, with the president now describing the Iranian leadership as being in a state of tremendous infighting. The possibility of face-to-face talks has vanished. When pressed by Axios on whether this cancellation signals an immediate return to full-scale war, the president's response was chillingly non-committal, stating simply, "We haven't thought about it yet." To understand why the administration feels it holds the leverage, one must look at the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. Navy has significantly expanded its blockade, effectively strangling Iran's ability to export its oil. This is a game of economic survival. By blocking the world's most vital energy artery, the U.S. is betting that the internal confusion Trump mentioned will lead to a total collapse of the Iranian position. But the risk is immense. 1/5 of the world's oil is currently at the center of this naval standoff, and any miscalculation could send global markets into a tailspin. Simultaneously, the conflict is escalating on a second front. Following deadly Israeli strikes in southern Lebanon that claimed at least 4 lives today, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered his military to vigorously attack Hezbollah targets. This creates a strategic pincer. Iran is being choked at sea by the U.S. Fifth Fleet, while its most powerful regional proxy is being hammered in Lebanon. The message to the Islamic Republic is clear. Your regional influence is being dismantled while your economy is under siege. The countdown to April 22nd, the original ceasefire deadline, continues. As the envoys remain in Washington and the warships remain in the Gulf, the world is left to wonder if Tehran will finally pick up the phone, or will the silence be broken by the resumption of a war that neither side has officially ruled out? We will continue to monitor the situation at the White House and in the Strait of Hormuz as this crisis develops. As we wrap up this special report, the global stage remains more volatile than it has been in decades. Between an assassination attempt on American soil and a high-stakes naval blockade in the Middle East, the America First doctrine is being tested in the fires of real-world conflict. President Trump is betting everything on the maximum pressure campaign, convinced that the Iranian leadership will eventually bend. But with the April 22nd deadline behind us and the Strait of Hormuz effectively turned into a militarized zone, the margin for error is razor thin. One thing is certain, the world we knew yesterday has changed, and the decisions made in the coming hours will determine the price of oil, the stability of the dollar, and the prospect of a global war. We are committed to bringing you the facts as they unfold in this fast-moving crisis. If you found this deep dive into the Trump-Iran standoff and the DC security breach helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more breaking news analysis. But more importantly, we want to hear from you. Is the call me strategy a masterstroke of diplomacy, or is it pushing the world toward a conflict we aren't prepared for? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We read them all.